This is a map of the Illinois River watershed, actually just the main stem, coming out of Chicago, basically at the confluence of the Kankakee and the Lower Des Plaines River, then on down past the Big Bend and down into Peoria. We're going to focus on Hillslopes. There's been a lot of plans. There's a comprehensive plan for the management of the Illinois River system. There's a large plan, a Mississippi River Basin Initiative plan. There's local plans. There are TMDLs that are going on in this area. But no plans have really been implemented to the degree that we need to. And areas along the Illinois River system, along the hill slopes, really haven't been formally addressed in any significant way in these plans. This is a shot from the ISGS, but it shows you some of the hill slopes. This is a sediment budget information for the Illinois River, originally built by Mike DeMissi and others, but it shows that approximately 12 million tons of sediment go into the Illinois River Valley, but 55% of it stays. A lot of sediment comes from these areas, these small, very steeply sloping tributaries along the Illinois River system. How much we aren't sure. What we do need to do is we need to monitor more of these smaller tributaries. This is a watershed that drains into the Illinois River system by Marseilles. It's about a little under 5,000 acres. There's a nuclear power plant, LaSalle Station in the headwaters, and a huge Headcut is working its way towards that nuclear power plant. The DNR, the U.S. Department of the Army, who has an agreement with the DNR in this area, and Exelon Corporation, all got together and called us and said, what do we do? Well, we went in there and we looked at some things. This shows the rates of headcut erosion from 2007, that little black mark in the middle, up to 2009, tremendous amount of head cutting, and then of course sediment deposition into an old gravel pit. This is the channel, South Kickapoo Creek. 2 to 3 meters of bed have just been removed and redeposited in places we don't want it. This area is very typical of all kinds of drainages, small tributary, steeply sloping drainages all along the river. We go in there and we look at the channel evolution models, channel stability indices, and we look at biological habitat indices and compare that kind of data. There's all kinds of excellent information in these assessment surveys and the protocols. When we have bad habitat and terribly unstable channels and they come together, these are areas we like to look at. We don't ignore the areas in between because we have to balance the overall forces, the stream power, with the available sediment and the slope. This is Senachwine Creek, where we targeted the most critical restoration sites, and that's what we do. We go back in and then we design restoration work and stabilization work. This is just South Kickapoo Creek again, with where riffles are planned, and right now we have them all constructed except the last 3. We're in the field doing that right now. Going around the Big Bend and down further into the Peoria pool area, we see a tremendous amount of hill slope incision in this area. And these streams are rapidly cutting up into the headwaters. This is the Peoria pool, just a focus into that same area. This lower area is Farm Creek, 44.1. It's a sediment production and nutrient production number, but Tenmile Creek is above that, and we're going to look at Tenmile Creek. Tenmile Creek erodes very rapidly and forms the narrows separating upper or middle Peoria Lake and lower Peoria Lake. It has a caterpillar in the headwaters, and they're doing forestry management practices, but the stream system is just below a dam, and it's actually head cutting rapidly too, just like all the other streams. Some of this information is in the sediment budget and some is not. Here's a plan map for Tenmile Creek, which has the most critical areas outlined on the main stem, and this is where we're working, have a proposal for $1.8 million to begin this spring to put in some solutions. These areas are very, very conducive to riffles and pools. So constructing riffles, we use Newberry designs from Dr. Newberry out of Colorado State University, and they've been very, very effective, but we need to focus on these hill slopes a lot more. We need to monitor a lot more, so we have to find the funds. But to focus on the Hillslopes means we have to do a big sales job because there's islands to be built out there in that river, and there's a lot of other work.